Hello, everybody. Today we start with the Western Division and Western Conference. The second team from the bottom will come from the same area as yesterday's LA Kings. So another team from Los Angeles, Anaheim, has struggled a bit during the last seasons, and our simulations show that they are not improving to the top form that they were a few years ago. Tommy, how do you see Anaheim's season based on our numbers?
Well, Anaheim has now been struggling for 2 seasons after their many years as a contender in the West. They're now expected to take the second to last spot in the Western Division. Actually, in the simulations, very close to Los Angeles Kings, who only had some decimals less points than Anaheim. It's going to be a tough one. They are in the middle of some sort of retooling. Maybe rebuilding would be a little bit too strong here. They got rid of Randy Carlyle, the old school coach that gave them a lot of success. Their team is young now. They've given a lot of playing time for the young players. And last year there was a bit of disappointments from the veteran players as well. But this year I think they are going to be going with the similar route, giving a lot of time for the young hot prospects to shine, and still struggling to win games. How about our simulations? How does it look on your end?
So when we take a look how Anaheim has performed during the last 3 years and how accurate our simulations have been, we need to remember that, like you said, last 2 years have been quite miserable in Southern California. But 3 years ago, Anaheim was one of the top teams in NHL. So if you have been betting on them, you have been mainly losing money. There's only few cases where you have been profitable by betting Anaheim, and one is away games with the expected value for the team. And as many times in our simulations, underdogs have the expected value in those teams and in those games, and now Anaheim has around 40% of their away games where we have found expected value. So out of those games, you have been winning almost $300 if you would bet $100 per game. And especially long road trips have been interestingly profitable for Anaheim's games. So if you have been betting games that are third or more in a road trip, then your profitability has increased to almost $500. So it looks like they struggle a bit when they start their road trips, but then they get going after a few games and are difficult to stop before ending that trip. And as we know, teams from California traditionally are traveling most. So how about now when the new alignment with new divisions decrease the traveling time? Do you think that it would help, or what kind of impact there will be for the Ducks?
Yeah, that's interesting to see as goes with every team now that the distances are a bit shorter, the travel time is shorter. They're playing more games in shorter period of time, but for the team like Ducks, they don't have the top level quality in their team that much, but they do have quite a deep roster with young players coming in. So they probably do have the energy to compete for a longer period of time. And also, as you mentioned, that they've been doing better the longer they've been on the road. So there is something to it probably. And this time around, there will be like mini playoff series played between the teams, the local rivals, for example, San Jose and Los Angeles Kings. So it will be interesting to see how Ducks will will try to gain advantage to it. Due to some changes from last season, they got rid of a lot of dead wood in the end of last season already. Of course, Ryan Getzlaf is still the leader of the team. Ryan Kessler probably will miss out again, so the veteran presence is a little bit less than last season or 2 seasons ago. But they do have a lot of young players, like I said, and interesting prospects to come up. Their defense is still really good, so they might actually gain some advantage from this playoff style hockey. I think you have some similar sort of notions there, like we had with the Kings that were doing really great against Colorado. How about the Ducks?
Yeah, very similar numbers as we went through with the Kings. So they have played reasonably well with the teams that are branded with speed and skill type of hockey, like Colorado and Vancouver earlier. So, for example, in Colorado, they have won more than they have lost. The win percentage is 56. And then for Vancouver, it's 80%. So out of 10 games that they played during the last 3 years, they won 8. But then when we go to the, let's say, similar kind of nitty-gritty teams that have more skills and more talent, we go for Vegas, and we see that their winning percentage against Vegas is 16. And then, like you mentioned, San Jose, another team that has been quite strong against Anaheim. Anaheim has won 1 out of 4, so win percentage is around 25 for the last 3 seasons. And these teams are something that it would be a bit difficult to find anything to bet for Anaheim. So only cases in those longer road trips and maybe back-to-back away games against San Jose and Vegas have been profitable and could be profitable in this season as well.
Yeah, to take a look a little bit of the roster changes they brought in Kevin Shattenkirk for the defense, so they have a really good core of Cam Fowler, Hampus Lindholm, and Josh Manson already. Now with the Shattenkirk arriving, the load of those 3 defensemen will be decreased some, so it's a really good addition. When you think of the defense, it's actually quite good. So for that end, they are pretty much set for now. And also, of course, John Gibson between the pipes is one of the better goalies still in the league. So defensively, we're expecting Ducks to do pretty well, and there is likely to be a lot of low-scoring games. Also, because that the offense then is not at the same level, even close to it. So there is a lot of young players, Sam Steele, Maxime Comtois, Max Jones, and Troy Terry, for example, but none of them have yet proven to be top 6 quality in the NHL level. They've done it in AHL, so there is a lot of expectation, but it's yet to translate in the big boys game. Of course, then Adam Henrik, Richard Raquel, and Jakob Silfverberg will provide what is needed for the top 6, but also they're not the star caliber players to actually lead the team in scoring. So it's a very balanced team in a way, but lacking a lot of the top level quality to compete in this Western division, which has of course the top teams are really, really good. So for the season projections, I think we've been pretty accurate in the past with Anaheim. Do you have some insight on that, Tuomas?
Yeah, we have been. So last 3 seasons, we have predicted every time that they are not going to match Vegas line or the line that bookmakers are providing, and those have been correct. So 3 years ago, they were quite a bit under, even though they made a playoffs 2 years ago. They were one of the bottom teams, and we were again correct side and under. And last season, even though it was cut short, we predicted them to be third last in West, and that was a correct spot, as well as going under most probably in total points. Would it be again another year of under for Anaheim?
Yeah, I do think so. It's the team has not improved that much. Of course, there is a lot of upside, like I said, with the youngsters and also with the core players playing better. We're expecting more goals from Rickard Rakell, for example. But it's a tough division. The top teams are too good, and Anaheim's time will be probably next year or around when they get rid of a lot of cap space because of Corey Perry's contract and some others as well. So not this year, maybe next year.
So this time, if you want to make some bets, maybe not for Stanley Cup win, but under for points or win totals.
Yeah, definitely. We have to wait and see what the lines are, but with this knowledge we have, definitely the under.
Very good.
Thank you.